All right, so I'm going to hit record now. Welcome everybody to our Team Power half hour, because that's all we get with Zoom. It might turn into 40 minutes, but we're going to do rapid fire here tonight. So the first thing that we're going to do to get some work done is you are going to go into your challenge group right now, and I want you to send a message checking in. In that message, I want you to ask them for some type of response in regards to how they did over this past week getting closer to the results. In that same message, I want you to remind them of two things coming up. Number one, you would love to work with their friends or family for your February challenge groups, and ask them to keep that in mind if they have someone that they want to refer to you. The second thing that I think you should include in this message is to give them the heads up. In the event that you are planning on ordering more of any of our Beachbody products, it would make sense if you haven't already signed up for the preferred customer discount. Okay, so word it how you like, send it. I'm not going to give you a script for this. It needs to be genuine the way that you would talk, but send that message now. We're going to take about 8 minutes to craft the message. If you're using my challenge tracker app, it's easy to put this together and just blast it off to all of them. For those of you who are new to sending a message in my challenge tracker, you just go into the group and then you can manage and message your participants. Go through and look for the ones that belong to you, and then you send that message to them. It goes to their app and their response will come to your email. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and get it done here, and I'll talk to you guys in about 8 minutes. All right, ladies, I want to share with you what I sent in my message. You can, if for those of you who are on the call, if you want to copy paste what you sent in yours, that's great, but I'm going to read you aloud what I sent to mine. So I use my challenge tracker app, and what they got from me was this message. Hi, ladies. I just wanted to take a quick minute to check in with all of you and see how this past week went for you. I've appreciated all the activity in the group, and I'm looking forward to our weeks to come together. If you could give me an update of what you are most proud of from the past week, I would love to hear it. It would also be helpful to know what you are still struggling with and how you plan to overcome it. Remember, the more active you are in the group, the better the results will be. Keep posting. I will be gearing up to plan and launch new groups in February, so keep me in mind if you have any friends or family who have been asking what you're up to. I would love a chance to work with them as well. Last but not least, for those who are wanting to do any reordering or new purchases in the coming weeks, please reach out if you're wanting to capitalize on the 25% discount. Just shoot me a message before you plan to order or before your home direct ships if you have it set up that way. All the best, rooting for you this week. And that's what I sent. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm going to look and see if you guys have in the chat section what you sent. Will I copy and paste it? Yes, I can do that now. I'll do it in a minute. Let me give you guys your next task. Okay, so depending on what you were posting about in your stories today, everybody's going to have a little bit of a different task at this moment. So for me, what I posted about this morning was the coaching opportunity. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to go to my stories now, and I do have a poll in there. So if you had a poll, obviously that's who you're going to message first, because if they voted, then you definitely want to send them information. Now, I will tell you guys, it works best if you send them the story that they voted on, rather than just saying like, hey, I noticed you voted. Actually send them the story, because then it's not like, what are you talking about? They see it, and they can, if they say they didn't mean to, that's fine. But for the most part, I get a better response. So if they voted, send them what they voted on and ask them if, what information you can send them, or what questions they have. But for those of you who are like, I didn't do a poll today, or, I didn't necessarily do anything that would elicit an email or a comment or a response, then I want you to go ahead and I want you to swipe up, and depending on, again, what you posted about today. So maybe it was your challenge group, maybe it was the coaching opportunity, whatever you talked about in your stories today, I want you to pay attention to who watched it. And I want you to make a video right now, or message. If you're not comfortable sending a video, that's fine, but I love sending videos, and that's how I roll. So I'm going to send a video, and in that video, I'm simply going to say, hey there, I noticed you were watching my stories today, and I posted about my upcoming opportunity. I'm looking for new coaches to join our team, and I was wondering if you were interested in it, or if you know someone who might be a good fit. Very direct message, okay? That is very much some would say a cold invite. However, they're watching my stories. I wouldn't send that to someone who just randomly wasn't watching them all the time. So I will look to see who watches them. If I click on the message, if I've had a conversation with that person, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to say, do you want more info on coaching, or do you know someone who would be a good fit for our team? Same with your challenge group. So if you posted about a challenge group, then I want you to send them a message and say, hey, I noticed that you were watching my stories today, and I was posting about my client accountability groups. Is this something you've thought about doing? If so, I'd love to send you more info. Okay, so make something that works for you. Those of you who are on the call, go ahead and post what you're going to say. If you want to copy, paste it in the chat. But go ahead and get to work on this. I would say this will take a good, depending on how many story views you have, give yourself a good 15 minutes right now, because you want to hit hard on this invite. So make the video, number one. I think you'll get a better response rate. Number two, send it based off of the topic in your stories. Good? Everybody good to roll? Okay, awesome. Ladies, for those of you who are wondering what mine says, I'm just going to play it for you so you can hear it. Again, I like to use the video option, and I send it through IG Messenger. So here's what it sounds like.
Hey, thanks for watching my stories today. I just wanted to take a quick second and see if you had noticed I posted about my upcoming coach mentoring opportunity, and I wondered if you were interested or if you knew someone who might be a good fit. Just let me know.
Okay, so that's what I posted. Really short and sweet, 14 seconds. So basically what I did is I swiped up, and anyone who was watching who was a familiar face who I had spoke to before, that's what they got. So working on it now still. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes here. Michelle and Lindsay, I know you guys are on. You're probably still working. If you guys want to unmute and say, either if you did the video, play your video, and if you didn't do your video, if you can just kind of read what you wrote, that'd be awesome.
Okay, so I don't do a video because 95% of the time I look like a hot mess when I'm doing it, or I'm just somewhere that like I don't want people to see the background. But I send a voice message, and to the ones who are looking at my story, I do every single one rather than copy paste, because I try to make it a little bit different every time in case that there's someone that I've already sent to. But I basically just say like, hey, thanks for watching my stories. Are you on your own health and fitness journey too? If it's a very basic day. If it's a challenge group, I'll say, hey, I noticed you've been watching my stories a lot lately. I was just wondering, are you on your own health and fitness journey too? Or were you interested in joining my challenge group? I keep them very basic, very the same, because I found before I would word vomit when I said a lot. And if you can't hear, the dogs kill each other in the background, so I have to keep it short and sweet.
So I sent some coaching invites, and then I sent that stories one. And I did mine about the challenge group because I didn't post my coaching up till a little later tonight, so I'll do those tomorrow. But mine said, hey lady, keep me in mind if you or anyone you know is looking for help with healthy living and weight loss. I'm organizing my new success groups this week. I'll be dreaming of summer tomorrow. It's going to be really cold here. And then my coaching ones, I sent from a picture on Instagram. I said, thanks for the love on my post. So happy to see you in the challenge group for this lady. Have you thought about doing what I do as a coach? My team is hosting an opportunity call this week. I'll get you the link. And then I'll follow up with a recording link if I don't have a live link.
Another quick side note that Michelle just made me think of that I do, if I ever have someone who said something like, hey, they want the link, after I'm done, I always put everything on one Google Doc, and I'll be like, hey, not sure if you got to catch it or not, but here's a recap. and I send them the Google Doc with all of the links on it.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing. That's super helpful. Okay, so I am going to come back on here and I'm going to give you guys some instructions. Now, typically when I do a power hour, I try to switch it up. Like when I do it, how I do it. Most of you know this, I've shared it before, but typically all of my invites come from either yesterday's post or yesterday's live or stories. So I'm pretty intentional and strategic about going live. I tend to do it several days a week because it gets me a big box of people who I can invite based off of a topic that, I plan out ahead of time. So if you're not doing that yet, I would encourage you to work on getting more strategic, getting in front of the camera, doing lives. It's how you're going to build your trust and credibility with your followers. I actually got a message the other day, and it was kind of like a little bit rude, but she was like, I really wanted to unfollow you a while ago because your life seemed so perfect and it was annoying to me. She's like, but I'm glad I didn't. She's like, I follow a lot of other coaches, but lately you've been giving out more than just what the coaches are giving out in regards to your lives on parenting and postpartum anxiety. And she just kind of was like, thanks for being real and thanks for not talking about Beachbody 24/7. So for those of you who are going live, don't make it all Beachbody, like make it topics that you feel like you have experience in. So that's just something to think about this week as you get ready to do your plans. But what I actually want you to do right now for the next, it's going to probably take you 10 minutes. So this will be the conclusion of our power hour. Again, what I'm about to have you do is not actually something that I do every single day, but it's something that I want you to get in the habit of doing once a week. So we're going to do it tonight, and then we're not going to do it again until next week. But I want you to decide today, what brands would you like to collaborate with? You are about to embark on a journey of becoming a social influencer, not just a Beachbody coach. And social influencers partner with other brands so that they can get followers organically from brands that are similar to what they already use and like. That's how many of the top coaches are having success right now and gaining new followers and really crushing it on Instagram. So what I would like for you to do is make a decision today. Which companies and brands do you want to message? Now, here's the only catch. Don't message a company that's selling something that's the same as Beachbody, okay? So this is a really bad example because you wouldn't do this, but I wouldn't message Peloton and ask if they're looking for any social influencers. Number one, Peloton's way beyond what I could touch. I can't touch that market. That's too big. They wouldn't pick me. I will tell you that brands right now that would be great for you guys if you have a small following would be a lot of just like these smaller mom and pop brands on Etsy, little Instagram shops. They will mostly always say yes to partnering with you. They have between 5,000 and 10,000 followers. They almost never tell you no when you reach out to them. Sometimes the bigger accounts will also pick you up. I've been surprised with how many brands have told me yes. So I make a habit that once a week, I go on the internet, I go on Instagram and I send them a message. I make sure I'm following them first. I send them a message and it's very, very simple. And I'll tell you exactly what I say to them. Hi there. I was wondering if you were interested in doing any collaborations or if you have any spots right now available for social influencers. I love your brand and I'd like to share it with my followers. Is this something that you would be interested in? That's it. I don't go fancy. Like somebody asked me for my script the other day. I was like, there's not a script. Like just say like, hey, do you have any opportunities to work for social, like, do you have any social influencer opportunities right now? All of them say yes. I get free stuff all the time. And I get like followers from their sites because they'll share my stuff in their stories or they'll share my pictures in their posts. So anyways, it's really simple. If they're small, they'll just ask you for your address right up front and they'll mail you stuff. If it's a bigger company, they will ask you to fill out their application, probably to email them. That's typically where you start, is you email them and then they ask you to fill out an application and they kind of check you out to see if you are someone who they want to partner with. Sometimes they'll tell you no, which is okay. Sometimes they'll say they don't have spots now, but they'll put you on the list. But sometimes they say, yep, it's a great fit. What's your address? We want to send you product. So I want you to do that once a week. Get in the habit of it. Pick brands based off of like whatever you're marketing yourself as. So I brand myself as a crunchy mom. So what I'll do is, there's a baby website here or a baby company here in Pittsburgh that's a Crunchy Baby Mom store. It's a small store, like mom and pop store. But what I do is I go online and I look to see what new products they're featuring in their store. And that gives me ideas as to who are some of the hot new names in Crunchy Mom world. So then I go on Instagram and find their accounts and I just send them that simple message. I cannot tell you the amount of luck I had. I did it hard in November and I got tons of stuff that I could use as giveaways. It was amazing. So anyways, don't overthink this. Just like find some brands that you want to partner with. For those of you who don't have kids and you're like, I don't want kids stuff, look at workout clothes. I've even seen like one of our coaches on Forever Fit who isn't like a top coach. She got a big box from the Carrie Underwood brand. So don't be afraid to ask. All right. Okay, so we have 10 minutes left. It's 8:32. I'm not going to keep you on the call to do this just because I know that you guys can do this without sitting here on the call. So I'm actually going to end the call, but I want you to put a timer on your phone and say, okay, I'm giving myself, because you can get stuck in this hole. Don't spend like a half an hour on this. I want you to give yourself 10 minutes, send off 10 social influencer messages, and let us know here on the team page if you have any luck this week and you get any yeses. All right. Thank you for joining me for this power hour. Again, it was only a power half an hour because of our Zoom timing. There's lots you could still do, but make sure that you are working on your invites. Be relentless. All right. Okay. Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. See you later.